All right, today we're diving into something I've never quite seen before. It's a nonprofit educational group called the Ascensions Guild, and its model is fascinating because it completely blurs the line between getting a serious professional education and playing a giant online video game.
So let me just start with this question, because it's really the core of the whole thing. What if your professional development, learning about business or finance or law, felt less like a chore and more like you were leveling up a character in a game? Just keep that idea in your head as we dig into how this organization is trying to make that a reality.
Okay, so let's start with the absolute basics. What is the Ascensions Guild? On paper, it's a nonprofit. Its mission is accessible education. But its structure, it's not your typical university, that's for sure. The whole thing is designed to feel like you're joining a real-life guild with its own immersive world and lore.
And it really has this wild dual identity. On one side, you have the straight-laced nonprofit with a formal mission governed by a board of directors, the official stuff. But on the other side, you have this gamified community. The members are called the fraternity, and the paid staff who run the game are called the administry. It's a university and a game, literally rolled into one.
So this brings us to the heart of the experience for a member. It's all about progression. Just like any good RPG, everything, and I mean everything, revolves around leveling up. And you do that by earning experience points, or EXP, to climb through this really detailed ranking system.
And this is where that video game vibe really comes to life. Look at these ranks: Novitiate, Proven, High Command, all the way up to Primarch. These Roman-inspired titles are not just for show, they are specifically designed to create this powerful sense of status, of achievement, as you climb through the guild's 42 different ranks. It's all about that feeling of climbing the ladder, right?
And to make the role-playing even deeper, when you join, you have to choose a specialization. You join one of 3 houses. This is basically your character class selection screen. You can join the House of Drucker if you're into business, the House of Fama for finance, or the House of Beccaria for law, and that choice sets you on your specific learning path.
So we've seen how the guild feels for a member. It's this immersive game. But how does an organization like this actually create all its educational content? I mean, that's usually the most expensive part, right? Well, this is where the model gets seriously clever.
Yeah, this is the multi-million-dollar question, isn't it? If you've got hundreds of courses on super complex topics, who is writing all this stuff? Who's designing it? The answer to this is the secret sauce to their entire business model. Okay, check this out. The guild doesn't hire a huge team of writers and designers. Instead, they chop up a course into hundreds of tiny little pieces, and they post each piece as a quest. Then the members, the fraternity, they complete these quests, not for money, but for those super valuable experience points. The staff, the ministry, then just picks the best submissions, stitches them together into a polished course, and then sells that course back to the very community that helped build it. It's genius. And this quote from their own business plan just nails it. They take what should be their number one biggest cost, creating the content, and they flip it. They turn it into their number one tool for getting the community involved and excited. The members are totally motivated to build the course library because that's how they get the status, that's how they rank up. But wait a minute. Earning EXP by doing quests is only half the puzzle. To make this whole thing actually work financially, the guild had to connect that powerful desire for status directly to its revenue. And the mechanism they use for this has a pretty formal name: skill-gated progression. But don't let the fancy term fool you. The idea is actually super simple. It just means that at certain points in your journey, your progress is deliberately blocked. You can't advance until you get a special key to unlock the next level. So, what are these keys, these skill nodes? They're the premium courses, the very same ones the community helped build. So while you can earn tons of EXP for free by completing quests, to actually get that promotion to a higher rank, you are required to buy and complete these specific courses. And that's the aha moment. This ensures that your most active, most engaged members are also the ones who are funding the entire organization. Okay, so this whole thing sounds incredibly clever, right? It's a beautiful theory. But is it actually a viable business? For that, we gotta pop the hood and look at the numbers from their financial simulations to see if this complex engine can actually run. The first big number that jumps out is this one: 18 months. That is the projected time it takes for the whole organization to hit its break-even point. After an initial investment, they believe they'll be profitable and totally self-sustaining in just a year and a half.
And if you look at the 5-year projections, you can see the story of that growth. You see that initial cash burn in year 1. They're in the red. But then the model just flips. By year 3, it's highly profitable as membership explodes. And by year 5, we're talking over 14,000 active members, bringing in over 200 grand a month and sitting on a pile of nearly $3 million in cash.
And this chart right here, this is the proof in the pudding. That biggest slice of the pie, a whopping 42% of all revenue, comes directly from selling those mandatory skill nodes. This proves that the core thesis is right. Linking status and rank progression directly to course purchases is by far the most powerful part of their financial engine.
So, after digging into the mechanics and the money, what's the big picture here? What are the key takeaways from the Ascensions Guild's model? Is this really a new blueprint for education? Let's just wrap it all up. At its core, you've got a nonprofit that runs like a video game. It uses that brilliant zero-cost content loop to get its members to build its products in exchange for status, that EXP, not for cash. Then it makes money by forcing you to buy those very products if you want to rank up. And maybe the best part? All the work you do gets tracked in a real-world portfolio, a codex of works that you can actually show to employers. And that really brings us to the final thought. This model is, without a doubt, incredibly innovative. But it leaves us with this one big, provocative question. Is this a revolutionary new blueprint for the future of education, making it more accessible and more engaging? Or is this just a masterclass in how to monetize a community by tapping into our very human desire for status and achievement? You know, the answer is probably somewhere in the middle.